Imagine standing at the edge of a massive crater, feeling the weight of 50,000 years of history beneath your feet. This isn't science fiction, it's Meteor Crater, Arizona, where a meteorite struck Earth with the force of 10 megatons of TNT, leaving a scar that still takes your breath away today. Meteor Crater, located in the northern desert region, is one of the best preserved impact sites on Earth. It was formed approximately 50,000 years ago when a nickel-iron meteorite struck the surface at a speed of around 12.8 kilometers per second. The impact released energy equivalent to over 10 megatons of TNT, creating a crater 1.2 kilometers wide and 170 meters deep. Early studies of the crater helped scientists understand similar features on the Moon and other planetary bodies. Despite initial skepticism, it was eventually confirmed that the crater was formed by a meteorite impact, not volcanic activity. The site has been used for astronaut training and scientific research, particularly for studies related to space exploration. The wild horses of the Salt River Valley are a notable population of free-roaming equines that have adapted to the arid environment of the region. These horses are believed to descend from domesticated animals brought to the area centuries ago, possibly by explorers or settlers. Traditional practices such as sheep herding, weaving, and ceremonies are still part of daily life for many Navajo families in the area. Saguaro National Park is named after its extensive forests of saguaro cacti, which serve as a symbol of the American Southwest. Like all cacti, they have a remarkable ability to store water, with a fully hydrated saguaro being able to hold up to 3,800 liters of water. Early inhabitants also created irrigation systems to farm in areas with minimal rainfall. The desert is home to a variety of wildlife adapted to harsh conditions, such as developing ways to conserve water and stay cool. One of the park's notable historical sites is the Signal Hill Petroglyphs, located in the Tucson Mountain District. This area contains over 200 ancient petroglyphs carved into the rocks by the Hohokam people, who inhabited the region between the years 450 and 1450. The petroglyphs depict geometric patterns, animals, and human figures, offering insights into the cultural and spiritual practices of the Hohokam. When active, the water's muddy appearance is caused by the high concentration of silt and clay eroded from the river's upstream channels. The Virgin River Gorge is a deep canyon along Interstate 15, carved by the Virgin River. The river has shaped the landscape over millions of years, cutting through layers of limestone, sandstone, and shale to form cliffs that rise to 500 meters above the canyon floor. Fossils of ancient marine life have been found in some of the exposed rocks of the gorge, showing that the area was once covered by an inland sea. For thousands of years, indigenous groups used the gorge as a travel route, relying on the river's resources for survival. However, the gorge can be dangerous, as it is prone to flash floods, especially during heavy rain, when water levels can rise rapidly and sweep through the canyon with little warning. Petrified Forest National Park is known for its large deposits of fossilized trees, ancient rock formations, and preserved archaeological sites. Covering an area of 380 square kilometers, the park contains some of the best preserved Triassic-era fossils, which are over 200 million years old. Fossilized remains of prehistoric plants, amphibians, and early reptiles have been discovered in the park, giving insight into the ecosystems that existed long before dinosaurs dominated the planet. Archaeological evidence also shows that indigenous groups lived in the area for thousands of years, leaving behind petroglyphs, pottery, and tools. The surreal landscape notably consists of petrified wood and colorful badlands. In fact, the park contains one of the largest concentrations of petrified wood in the world. The fossilized logs were once towering conifer trees that lived during the late Triassic period. Volcanic ash and mineral-rich groundwater replaced the organic material with quartz, iron, and manganese, turning the wood into stone over time. The petrified logs are found in various colors, including red, yellow, blue, and purple, due to the different minerals present during fossilization. Some logs measure up to 30 meters long, preserving growth rings, bark textures, and even internal structures. Scientists study the fossilized wood to understand past climates, tree species, and environmental conditions that existed when the area was part of a humid subtropical forest. The Painted Desert is a section of the park known for its layered rock formations in shades of red, orange, pink, and purple. These colors come from iron and manganese oxides within the rock layers. The desert stretches for over 370 kilometers, with eroded cliffs, mesas, and badlands shaped by wind and water. The landscape changes throughout the day, as sunlight affects how the colors appear. The oldest layers contain fossils of ferns, early conifers, and prehistoric animals, providing evidence of how the environment has shifted over time. Newspaper Rock is an archaeological site within the park that contains over 650 petroglyphs. The meanings of many petroglyphs remain uncertain, but researchers believe they represent hunting scenes, spiritual beliefs, and territorial markers. The Superstition Mountains are a rugged mountain range steeped in legend and folklore, most notably the story of the Lost Dutchman's gold mine. According to the tale, a German immigrant named Jacob Waltz discovered a rich gold mine in the 19th century, but its location remains a mystery. The area is also known for its rugged terrain, including steep canyons and dry washes that fill with water during seasonal rains. Today the mountains are a popular destination for outdoor activities such as hiking, rock climbing, and camping. The Superstition Wilderness Area, established in 1939, protects much of the range to preserve its natural and cultural resources. The Wave Cave is a shallow cave located in the Superstition Mountains known for its wave-shaped rock formation that resembles a frozen sandstone wave. The wave-like structure is the result of differential weathering, where softer rock layers erode faster than harder layers, creating a curved overhang. The cave itself is relatively small, measuring around 10 meters wide and a few meters deep, but its unique shape makes it a well-known geological feature. The cave sits at an elevation of approximately 975 meters, requiring a 4-kilometer round-trip hike with a steep ascent. The final approach involves loose rock and uneven terrain, making the climb challenging but accessible. Vermilion Cliffs National Monument is a vast, remote area renowned for its dramatic red rock formations and slot canyons. The National Monument is also known for its role in wildlife conservation, as the area is part of a program to reintroduce one of the world's most endangered birds back into the wild. Rising dramatically along the Arizona-Utah border, the Vermilion Cliffs are a striking geological formation characterized by their steep, red-hued sandstone cliffs. Iconic for their vibrant red and orange colors, they rise up to 900 meters above the surrounding landscape. The Vermilion Cliffs are composed primarily of Navajo sandstone, which dates back to the Jurassic period, around 190 million years ago. Another notable feature within the monument is the White Pocket, a small, isolated area known for its intricate and colorful rock patterns. The White Pocket's swirling, cross-bedded sandstone formations are the result of ancient sand dunes that were compacted. The area's white, red, and pink hues create a visually striking contrast with the surrounding landscape. Visitors to the White Pocket must obtain permits, as the area is managed to minimize human impact and protect its fragile ecosystems. Canyon de Chelly National Monument is a significant historical and cultural site known for its deep Navajo history and ancient cliff dwellings. In fact, the canyon has been continuously inhabited for thousands of years by the Navajo people, with many families still living and farming within. The monument is jointly managed by the National Park Service and the Navajo Nation, ensuring the preservation of both the natural and cultural resources. One of the most iconic landmarks within Canyon de Chelly is Spider Rock, a towering sandstone spire that rises approximately 230 meters from the canyon floor. According to Navajo tradition, Spider Rock is the home of Spider Woman, an important figure in Navajo mythology who taught the people weaving and other skills. The monument is also renowned for its well-preserved archaeological sites, including numerous cliff dwellings and petroglyphs created by the ancestral Puebloans, who inhabited the area from around 1500 to 1300 years ago. These ancient structures, built into the canyon walls, provide valuable insights into the lives and culture of the people who live there. The cliff dwellings include multi-room structures, storage areas, and kivas, which were used for ceremonial purposes. Glen Canyon National Recreation Area is a vast region centered around Lake Powell and the Colorado River. The area is known for its dramatic landscapes including deep canyons, towering cliffs, and expansive desert terrain. It is a popular destination for outdoor activities such as boating, hiking, and exploring geological formations. Some of the notable features within Glen Canyon National Recreation Area are the balanced rocks. These formations are large boulders perched precariously on narrow pedestals of rock, part of the Entrada sandstone. Early explorers, ranchers, and indigenous groups used these formations as navigation points, helping them locate water sources and safe routes through the desert. Certain balanced rocks in the area have been given names by explorers and local communities based on their shapes, such as Mushroom Rock and Teetering Rock. Access to the balanced rocks requires travel on unpaved roads or by boat, depending on the location. However, due to their delicate balance, many of the formations are off-limits to climbers and visitors to prevent vibration damage that could speed up their collapse. Completed in 1966, the Glen Canyon Dam is a concrete arch-gravity structure that spans 475 meters across the Colorado River, regulating its flow. It stands 216 meters tall, making it one of the tallest concrete dams in North America. The dam was built to provide hydroelectric power, water storage, and flood control. The Colorado River, which flows through Glen Canyon, is a vital water source for the region. The Colorado River stretches from its headwaters in the Rocky Mountains of Colorado to its delta in Mexico, where it historically flowed into the Gulf of California. Today, due to water diversions, it rarely reaches the sea. Horseshoe Bend is a 270-degree meander in the Colorado River located downstream from Glen Canyon Dam. The river curves sharply around a massive rock formation, creating a horseshoe-shaped bend. Unlike normal river bends that shift over time, Horseshoe Bend remains locked in place due to the deep rock layers and steady erosion rate. The cliffs surrounding the bend rise over 300 meters above the river, providing a clear view of the exposed rock layers that primarily consist of Navajo sandstone. Due to controlled water releases from Glen Canyon Dam, the Colorado River at Horseshoe Bend remains cold, averaging 8 to 10 degrees Celsius even in summer. Lake Powell is a man-made reservoir along the Colorado River, created after the construction of Glen Canyon Dam. When the dam was built, the rising water submerged ancient rock formations, archaeological sites, and river ecosystems. Some artifacts and cliff dwellings remain above the waterline, offering insight into indigenous settlements that existed for thousands of years. At full capacity, it holds nearly 33 cubic kilometers of water, though water levels fluctuate due to drought conditions, seasonal runoff, and water usage. Thus, Lake Powell serves as a water storage system, supplying cities and agricultural areas downstream. Its water levels are closely monitored as they affect power production, recreational use, and environmental balance in the Colorado River Basin. Wawape Marina is one of the largest access points to Lake Powell, located near the southern end of the reservoir. It serves as a launch site for boats, houseboats, and fishing vessels, providing access to over 3,000 kilometers of shoreline. The marina is also a popular gateway to water-based activities and resource management. It provides access to fuel, maintenance facilities, and watercraft rentals, supporting both recreational and research efforts on Lake Powell. Navajo Tribal Park covers sections of canyons and waterways along the Colorado River Basin. The park is known for its deep slot canyons created by flash floods and wind erosion. Many of these narrow passageways are accessible only by guided routes, preserving both the natural landscape and cultural sites. Upper Antelope Canyon is a world-renowned slot canyon known for its mesmerizing light beams and smooth, sculpted walls. The canyon is about 40 meters deep and has a winding path that narrows in several sections, creating light beams that filter down at certain times of the day. The name in the Navajo language translates to the place where water runs through rocks, reflecting how flash floods continue to shape its structure. Lower Antelope Canyon is a narrower and deeper slot canyon compared to the upper section, offering a more adventurous experience. Completed in 1936, the Hoover Dam is a monumental engineering achievement located on the Colorado River. The dam was constructed during the Great Depression and provided jobs for thousands of workers. The primary purposes of the Hoover Dam are to generate hydroelectric power, provide water storage, and control flooding in the Southwest. The dam's power plant generates around 4 billion kilowatt-hours of electricity annually, supplying power to homes, businesses, and industries across the region. Its 17 turbines can also produce great amounts of power, making it a critical component of the area's energy infrastructure. Over 2.48 million cubic meters of concrete were used, which was enough to build a 2-lane highway from San Francisco to New York. Sedona is a region characterized by sandstone formations including cliffs, buttes, and canyons. The red rocks of Sedona are part of the Colorado Plateau, a vast geological region that spans several states. The region was named after Sedona Arabella Miller Schneble, the wife of Theodore Carleton Schneble, who was one of the early settlers in the area. She was known for her hospitality and community involvement, and the name, as suggested, came from Schnebly's brother since it was a unique name that would be easy to remember. It is also well associated with spiritual and wellness practices, often cited as having energy vortexes, which are believed to be centers of spiritual power. This has made Sedona a destination for those interested in meditation, yoga, and alternative healing practices. The Chapel of the Holy Cross was completed in 1956, designed to be built directly into the red rock formations of Sedona. The structure is anchored into a cliffside, and its most distinctive feature is the 40-meter-high cross, which is integrated into the front facade and serves as the primary support for the building. The chapel was commissioned by Marguerite Brunswick Staud, who originally planned to build a similar structure in Europe, but relocated the project to the Red Rock region. The design was influenced by modernist architecture, incorporating simple geometric forms and large glass windows to allow natural light inside. Red Rock State Park covers about 115 hectares consisting of canyons, mesas, and riparian areas along Oak Creek. The area was originally used for ranching and farming, with homesteaders relying on the creek as a water source for crops and livestock. The land was owned by Jack Fry, a former president of Trans World Airlines who planned to build a luxury retreat in the area. It was later designated as a protected area to preserve the local ecosystem. Since water sources are scarce in the desert, the park maintains man-made ponds to provide water for animals and support plant life. To also preserve dark sky conditions, the park has strict regulations on artificial lighting, making it a good location for stargazing and astronomy events. Bell Rock is a red sandstone butte rising to an elevation of 1,500 meters above sea level. The formation gets its name from its rounded, bell-like shape, composed primarily of Schnebly Hill sandstone, with distinct horizontal layers visible along its slopes. Native groups used Bell Rock as a landmark for navigation, and evidence of early habitation, such as rock carvings and artifacts, has been found in nearby areas. Due to its accessibility and distinctive shape, it is one of the most photographed formations in the area. Cathedral Rock is a sandstone formation with steep vertical spires reaching an elevation of 1,500 meters. It is one of the most recognized rock formations in the region, primarily composed of Schnebly Hill sandstone, which formed from ancient sand dunes compacted into rock layers. Early settlers referred to the formation as Court Rock, but the name Cathedral Rock was chosen due to its resemblance to a church cathedral. Unlike traditional hiking trails, reaching the saddle of Cathedral Rock requires sections of hands and feet climbing, making it more of a rock scramble than a simple walk. Interestingly, the scenic backdrop of Cathedral Rock has made it a frequent wedding and elopement spot. Visitors also often leave behind stacked rock formations, also known as cairns, near the base of Cathedral Rock, as part of a personal ritual or spiritual practice. Tumacacori National Historical Park is a significant historical site that preserves the remains of 3 Spanish mission communities. The most prominent feature is the Mission San Jose de Tumacacori, a partially restored mission church that dates back to the late 18th century. The historic town of Prescott was founded in 1864 and served as the capital of Arizona Territory before the capital was relocated. The town developed as a mining and ranching center, attracting prospectors searching for gold and silver in the surrounding hills. Downtown Prescott contains 19th century buildings, historic saloons, and preserved Victorian-era homes, reflecting its role as a frontier town. There is also the Yavapai County Courthouse, which sits centered in Courthouse Plaza. Since its completion in 1916, it has served as the heart of the town. Watson Lake is a man-made reservoir located just outside Prescott, formed after the construction of Watson Dam in the early 1900s. The lake covers approximately 28 hectares, featuring dramatic granite boulders and rocky shorelines. The lake was originally created for irrigation and water storage, though its water is no longer used for drinking due to its high mineral content. The granite dells are a series of eroded rock formations surrounding Watson Lake. These rounded boulders and cliffs are made of prehistoric granite, estimated to be 1.4 billion years old. The granite is rich in quartz and feldspar, giving it a textured appearance with cracks, crevices, and smooth curves. Coconino National Forest covers over 7,600 square kilometers, containing mountains, canyons, and forests of pine and aspen. In fact, It is home to ponderosa pine forests, one of the largest continuous stretches of ponderosa pines in the world. These trees are adapted to wildfires with thick bark that protects them from burning. Periodic fires help clear underbrush, allowing the forest to regenerate. The landscape varies with elevation, ranging from lowland desert areas at 800 meters to mountain peaks rising over 3,800 meters. The area was originally inhabited by indigenous groups, but in the late 19th century, ranchers, loggers, and railroad builders moved into the region to use its natural resources for timber, grazing, and mining. The Palatka ruins are ancient cliff dwellings built by the Saguaro people between 1,000 and 1,300 years ago. They are located within the red rock cliffs of Coconino National Forest, surrounded by petroglyphs and pictographs that provide evidence of long-term human activity. The name Palatka means red house in the Hopi language, reflecting the color of the sandstone cliffs. The dwellings were constructed using mud mortar and local rock, with multiple rooms built into the cliffs for shelter, storage, and community gatherings. Courthouse Butte is a massive sandstone formation located in the Red Rock region of Coconino National Forest. Its name comes from its flat-topped rectangular structure, resembling a courthouse building. The butte was shaped by wind, rain, and ice, which gradually carved out its vertical walls and jagged edges. The rock layers in the butte contain fossilized marine life, showing that the region was once covered by an ancient inland sea millions of years ago. The Courthouse Butte waterfall is a seasonal waterfall that appears on the rock face after heavy rain or snowmelt. It forms when water flows over the sandstone cliffs of Courthouse Butte, cascading down into the rocky terrain below. The waterfall is not a permanent feature, as the dry desert climate means that water is only present for a few hours to a few days after storms. Camelback Mountain is one of the highest points in the surrounding desert landscape, offering a challenging yet rewarding hiking experience. The mountain gets its name from its distinctive shape, which resembles the hump and head of a kneeling camel when viewed from a distance. Located at the base of the mountains is Paradise Valley, which is defined by its upscale residential communities and scenic beauty. Historically, the Hohokam, an ancient culture of people remembered for their irrigation systems and agricultural practices, lived in the area. European settlers later arrived in the 19th century, drawn by the fertile land and the potential for farming. By the 20th century, the land shifted from agriculture to residential development, with conservation efforts preserving sections of the surrounding mountain. The climate in Paradise Valley is typical of a desert environment, with hot summers and mild winters. The area receives minimal rainfall, which supports a variety of drought-resistant plants. The Lavender Pit Mine is a former open-pit copper mine named after Harrison M. Lavender, a mining engineer who played a key role in developing large-scale open-pit mining operations in the area. Before open-pit mining began in 1950, the site was home to underground mining operations dating back to the late 19th century. Advances in technology and increased demand for copper led to the transition from underground tunnels to large-scale surface extraction. The mine remained active until 1974, producing millions of tons of copper ore, along with byproducts such as gold and silver. One of the sunniest cities in the world, Yuma is located in a desert region near the Colorado River, making water access a major factor in its development. Due to its location, Yuma experiences some of the highest temperatures in North America, with summer highs often exceeding 45 degrees Celsius and annual rainfall averaging less than 85 millimeters. The Gila Gravity Irrigation Canal was completed in 1903, being one of the first major federal irrigation efforts that helped transform the desert landscape into productive farmland. The canal system was designed to divert water without the use of pumps, relying solely on gravity-fed flow to deliver water to agricultural fields. Over time, the canal system has been expanded and modernized, but water conservation and drought management remain ongoing challenges. It continues to support thousands of hectares of farmland, contributing to a large portion of the region's vegetable and citrus supply. Kofa National Wildlife Refuge covers over 2,600 square kilometers, consisting of mountain ranges, desert valleys, and dry riverbeds. Established in 1939, the refuge was created initially to protect the desert bighorn sheep population, which had been declining due to hunting and habitat loss. Today, the refuge still remains a protected area for conservation and research, with ongoing efforts to monitor wildlife populations and maintain natural water sources. The desert bighorn sheep is one of the most well-adapted animals in the region, capable of surviving in extreme desert conditions with minimal water sources. They rely on seasonal rainwater pools and moisture from desert plants to stay hydrated. Male bighorn sheep, called rams, are known for their large curved horns, which they use in head-to-head battles for dominance. These battles can last for hours, with rams colliding at speeds up to 30 kilometers per hour. These sheep are skilled climbers, using their specialized hooves to navigate steep rocky terrain, and often rest on high ridges to avoid predators. Their populations declined in the 20th century due to hunting, habitat loss, and disease, but conservation efforts, including population monitoring and water station installations, have helped stabilize their numbers. The Spiral Labyrinth is a man-made rock formation designed as a meditative walking path in the desert near Yuma. The labyrinth consists of carefully placed stones arranged in a circular, winding pattern, following ancient traditions of contemplative walking paths. The imperial sand dunes, also known as the Algodones Dunes, were formed by wind-blown sand, creating shifting hills that can rise over 90 meters in height. The area was used in military training exercises simulating desert warfare environments. Today the dunes attract visitors for off-road vehicle recreation, with designated areas set aside for ATVs, dune buggies, and motorcycles. Phoenix is located in a desert valley surrounded by mountains and arid landscapes. It was founded in 1868 near the Salt River, where early settlers developed irrigation systems to support farming. The region had previously been home to the Hohokam civilization, which built extensive canal networks over 1,500 years ago to redirect water for agriculture. The city grew rapidly in the 20th century, driven by railroad expansion, mining, and agriculture. The arrival of air conditioning in the 1930s and 40s made year-round living in the desert more practical, leading to population growth and infrastructure development. The Rawson House is a Victorian-era home built in 1895, constructed for Dr. Roland Rawson, a physician and former city official. The house represents the Queen Anne architectural style, which was popular in the late 19th century and was one of the first homes in the area to have modern amenities for its time, including electric lighting, indoor plumbing, and a telephone. During the early 20th century, the house changed owners multiple times, but preservation efforts began in 1974, and the house was restored to its original 1895 appearance. The Phoenix Mountains are a series of low mountain ranges and hills located within and around the city, rising from the surrounding desert landscape. The mountains are composed primarily of granite and schist, with some areas containing volcanic rock deposits. They offer accessible hiking trails and panoramic city views. Whitewater Draw Wildlife Area covers approximately 600 hectares, consisting of wetlands, grasslands, and desert scrub. Water levels fluctuate throughout the year, so its seasonal floodplains and marshes attract a variety of migratory birds, such as the sandhill crane. Gold King Mine in Ghost Town is a historical site in Jerome, a former mining town. The site preserves the remnants of a mining operation that was active during the late 19th and early 20th centuries. However, as mining declined in the mid-20th century, the town's population dwindled, and it became a ghost town. Tucson is a city surrounded by mountain ranges, including the Santa Catalina Mountains to the north and the Tucson Mountains to the west. Historically, it has been inhabited for thousands of years, with the Hohokam and Tohono O'odham peoples being among the earliest known inhabitants. The Spanish established a presidio, or fort, in 1775, which became the foundation for the modern city. It was part of Mexico until the mid-19th century, when it became part of the United States following the Gadsden Purchase. The city is home to a handful of cultural landmarks such as the Mission San Xavier del Bac. The Mission San Xavier del Bac, located about 16 kilometers south of Tucson, is one of the oldest Spanish missions in the region. It was originally founded in the 17th century, but the current church structure was built between 1783 and 1797 using limestone, adobe, and brick. The mission was named after Francis Xavier, a 16th century missionary, and was established to convert indigenous groups to Christianity. South Mountain Park and Preserve covers over 65 square kilometers, making it one of the largest municipal parks in the region. The area is composed of volcanic rock formations, primarily schist, granite, and basalt. During the 1930s, the Civilian Conservation Corps built roads, trails, and stone structures throughout the park as part of a national effort to develop public lands. Dobbin's Lookout is the highest accessible point in South Mountain Park Preserve, sitting at an elevation of 710 meters. The lookout was constructed as part of the Civilian Conservation Corps project, using local stone to build a shelter and observation area that could withstand extreme desert weather conditions. The turkey vulture is one of the most common birds in South Mountain Park, and can be observed using thermal updrafts to soar at high altitudes without flapping its wings. It has a wingspan of up to 1.8 meters, with dark feathers and a distinctive red featherless head that prevents bacteria from building up while feeding on carrion. They have an exceptionally strong sense of smell, capable of detecting decaying carcasses from over a kilometer away. These birds are known for their defensive behavior, regurgitating partially digested food when threatened to deter predators. They also cool themselves in hot temperatures by urinating on their legs, a process known as urohydrosis, which helps lower body temperature through evaporative cooling. Grand Canyon National Park covers over 4,900 square kilometers, with the canyon stretching for 446 kilometers in length. The canyon walls reveal horizontal rock strata, each layer representing different geological periods. The oldest rocks found at the bottom are Vishnu schist, estimated to be 1.7 to 2 billion years old. Above these layers are younger formations that were deposited by ancient seas, rivers, and wind-blown sand dunes. Due to the difference in elevation, the canyon creates localized weather patterns, with sudden storms, snow at the rim, and sunshine at the bottom all occurring on the same day. Interestingly, Spanish explorers first reached the canyon in the 16th century, but dismissed it as an impassable wasteland. The north rim sits at an elevation of 2,438 meters, and its increased elevation results in cooler temperatures, heavier snowfall, and denser forests. Winter snowfall averages 3 to 4 meters per year, causing the seasonal closure of roads and facilities from mid-October to mid-May. Due to its remote location, the North Rim receives only 10% of the park's total visitors, making it much less crowded than its southern counterpart. Roads leading to the area are limited, with the nearest major highway being over 70 kilometers away. The prairie rattlesnake is one of the largest and most widespread rattlesnake species in the region, reaching lengths of up to 1.5 meters. This rattlesnake is ambush-based, waiting near rodent burrows, rocky ledges, and shaded areas for prey to approach. While it disguises easily with its background, it primarily feeds on small mammals, birds, lizards, and insects, using venom to immobilize prey before swallowing it whole. The rattle at the end of its tail is made of keratin, the same material as human fingernails. Each time the snake sheds its skin, a new segment is added to the rattle. The snake vibrates its rattle as a warning signal to deter predators, although younger snakes with smaller rattles are often quieter. The South Rim is the most accessible and visited section of Grand Canyon National Park. The rim is made of kaibab limestone, a rock layer deposited by an ancient sea around 270 million years ago. Temperatures at the South Rim remain cooler than the inner canyon, with winter snowfall accumulating between 1 to 2 meters per year. The red-tailed hawk is one of the most common but majestic raptors found in Grand Canyon National Park. These hawks are often seen soaring over the canyon using thermal updrafts to glide without flapping their wings. Red-tailed hawks hunt by circling high above open areas, scanning for prey with their incredible vision, which is 8 times sharper than a human's. Once they spot prey, they dive at speeds of up to 190 kilometers per hour, using their sharp talons to capture and kill their target. Bison in Grand Canyon National Park are part of a hybrid herd originally introduced in the early 1900s as a result of crossbreeding between cattle and wild bison. The herd was established on the Kaibab Plateau, where they have since adapted to the region's high-elevation forests and meadows. They're the largest land mammals in the park, with males weighing up to 900 kilograms and standing over 1.8 meters tall at the shoulder. They have thick, shaggy fur, large curved horns, and a hump of muscle over their shoulders, which helps them power through deep snow and rough terrain. There are current efforts to manage the bison population that include relocation programs and controlled culling, as their numbers have increased beyond what the environment can sustain. Thanks for traveling with us. Wherever you are in the world, remember, home isn't just a place, it's a perspective. We'll see you in the next story, only here on Beyond Borders. Hit subscribe, share the journey, and stay curious.